us how to append and merge multiple tables or multiple data sets using Power BI. Okay, now so let's get to it. Now for me to do this, I need to have my tables of same structure inside a folder. And now I've already created this folder, and I have some of these tables inside this folder. Okay, so let me go ahead and import this data that I have in a folder. Okay, so I'm going to go to my get data. Now I'm going to go to more. I'll go to more. Now from my more, I'll go to folder. Then from folder here, I'll click on connect. Now once this comes up, I'll click on browse. Now when this comes up, I'm going to look for what I named my folder. This is what I named it, append tutorial. So I'll click on it and click OK. Now when it comes up here, I'll click OK. Okay, so I have this stacked here. Now let me say something again. Now we say that append increases the number of rows in a data set, while merge increases the number of columns in a data set. So while append increases rows, merge increases the columns. Okay, now this does this vertically and the other one does horizontally. Okay, so let me go to my combine here. So I'll come to combine and transform. I'll click on it. Okay, now when this shows, I'll click, it says combine files, I'll click OK. Okay, when this comes up like this, if it doesn't take you to Power Query immediately, just come under your taskbar, just here, on your Power BI taskbar, you'll see these two windows. Just pick the one for Power Query. Okay, now when you pick the one for Power Query, it should bring you here. Okay, now this is what we brought in. This is the table. Now we can see it here. You can see it here. This is what we appended. The three tables or three data sets we appended. Now, like I said before, I said I'm going to show us how to append and merge multiple data sets in Power BI. Now we brought in the first table. We've appended and brought in the first table. Okay, now let's go ahead and bring in the other tables that we're going to use to merge. Okay, now for us to do this, we are going to go to new source. We will go to new source, and then because the file I'm trying to import or bring in, they are CSV, they are not Excel extensions. I'm going to go to text/CSV to bring them in. Now when this opens, I'm going to click on this customer table here. I'm going to click open. This is part of the table I need to bring in. Okay, when it opens here, this is the table. I'll click OK. It will come under here. It's going to come under here. Now I'm going to go back again and bring in another one. I'll take the same step. Now I'm going to bring in this product. I'll click OK. Sorry, open. I'll click OK. Now it's going to come up here too. Now I'm going to bring in another one, the third one. Let me bring in this region. I'll click open. Okay. Let me bring in the last one, which is a store. Okay, the store table. Okay. Okay. Now, before we go further, now this is a sales data. This data is a sales data. Now we're trying to look at the how the sales went over time, the revenue generated. Okay, I'm going to forward the objectives for this work later on, and I'm also going to drop the objectives on the comment section so that those that are not in the physical class or those that just want to watch the video and practice can go through the objectives and follow along with the work. Okay, now this is a sales data. Now we're going to clean this data based on the objectives we've already established before now in class. Okay, now for me to do this, first of all, this source name here, I'm going to be removing it. We don't need it for this analysis. It's not part of our objective. It's not going to aid our analysis. Okay, now we have our transaction date here. We have our stock date. We have our product ID, customer ID, store ID. Now I'm going to be changing these IDs to text. I'm going to be changing these IDs to text. Okay, now I'm changing these IDs to text because we need to merge. Now when we are merging, we need to have the same data types across all our IDs for us to be able to merge whenever we are doing any merging. Okay, whenever we are merging tables or merging columns or whatever, we need our data types to be in order. We need our data types to match. Okay, now that I have this, I'm going to go to the next table, which is the customer lookup table. Now I have here, I'm going to make this text the customer ID, which is the primary key, replace current. All the primary keys, all the IDs, we made all the primary keys here text, text, text. So we're also going to come back here and make our primary keys here text. Okay, now this customer account number, we're going to be removing it. We don't need it for analysis. Okay, now we have this first name and last name, first name and last name. Okay, now for this first name, sorry, for this last name, we are going to split the column. Okay, so let's split by number of character. Okay, 1, as far left as possible, and okay. So we're going to be removing this particular one, last name 2. Right click, remove. So we're going to merge these two columns. Merge columns using space, and let's name this names, like just like customer names. Let's just shorten it to names. Okay, we've taken care of this. We've taken care of this. Okay, now for the customer address, we're going to be removing this. We do not need it for analysis. Okay, this customer city, we don't need it as well. Remove. Customer state province, we don't need it as well. Now we are removing the columns that are not going to aid us in this analysis. Customer postal code, we are removing it. Customer country, let's just rename this to country. Enter. Okay, we have birth date here. We will come back and work on this. We have marital status. We have the yearly income. Let's remove this. We don't need it. Okay, for this marital status, I can simply make this using replace value. Click on the M, right click, replace value. I can make this married. On the advanced option, match entire cell content, and okay. I'll go ahead and do the same thing for the S. Click on the S, right click, and single. Okay. Match entire cell contents, and okay. Okay, so you can go ahead and do the same thing on your own for this gender. use this to practice. Okay, so let me move forward. Now, this total children, we do not need it for this analysis. This total children, number of children at home, education, account open dates, member card, occupation, homeowner. Okay, we do not need this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. So I'm going to right click. Okay, what I simply did is, let me show us what I did again. I clicked on the total children. Yeah, I wanted to select them together. I clicked on the total children. I held my control on my keyboard down. Then I selected this, holding it down still. Selected these columns I don't want to keep. I kept selecting them, shift select. Now I think this is the last. I remove my hand and right click and remove columns. Okay, so I think I have 6 columns left. Okay, so I have my customer ID, names, country, birth date, marital status, and gender. Okay, so let's go to the product table. So I'm going to make my primary key here to text, replace current. Okay, now I have product brand and product name. Okay, now this product SKU, we do not need it for our analysis. Now, these columns I'm removing. Now, another person can get this data and choose to work with these columns. Now, it's all about the objectives you're working with. It's all about what you're trying to achieve from a data. Someone else can get this data, and then some of these columns we are keeping, they might ignore them and work with these ones we are removing. So it's all about the insight you're trying to get out from a data, or the information you're trying to get out from a particular data. Okay. So this unit price, I'm going to rename this to, sorry, this retail price, I'm going to rename this to unit price. Unit price. Okay. Now I'm going to rename the product cost to cost price. Okay, cost price. Now from this product weight, this recyclable, this low fat, I'm going to right click and remove, select them and remove. So we have 5 columns remaining here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 columns remaining. Okay, for this region lookup, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'll make my primary key here text. Now I don't want this sales district, so I'm going to remove it. Okay, so we have sales region, sales region ID and sales region. So this region ID, I'm simply going to transform and trim. Now trimming helps to remove the spaces in a text. That is what trimming does. Those spaces you do not see while typing something. Now trimming helps you to close those spaces or remove those spaces. That is what trim does on a text. Okay. Now this is just 2 columns that are on this table. So let's go to the store. Now on this store, this is what we have here. This is what we have on the store. Now this particular table is a little bit messy, so we need to clean it. It has a lot of errors. Look at the columns. Okay, so let's do this. Now for us to take care of this, let's first of all, on your home ribbon, you will see on your right hand side, use first rows as header. Now we're going to promote header. We call this to promote the headers, because if you look at this, our main headers are sitting on the rows itself, while they should be sitting on the columns here, on the column headers. Now if you look at the column headers, you're seeing column 1, column 2, 3, and the rest, while the actual names are sitting on the rows. Look at this. We have our store ID here, our region ID, store type, store, and the rest. So we need to make this sit appropriately where it should. Now what we're going to do is simply to promote the headers. Now for us to do this, If I click now, if you look at this store ID is on row 7. Now if I click on this, use first row as header. If I click on it, it has moved to 6. Are you seeing this? If I click on it again, it will move to 5. If I click on it again, to 4, again to 3, again to 2, again to 1. So it will keep on overriding. It will keep on overriding what was there initially. It will keep on overriding. If I do this again, now it's going to be here. So this is where I want it to be. This is where I want it to be. Now, if you still check our columns, here, you can see that I have my valid here 77%, my error 0%, empty 23%. That means if I scroll down here, I'm seeing no values. There's a whole lot of empty cells, or sorry, yeah, rows here. So that is why I am seeing this as my valid 77%, error 0%, and empty 23%. Now, if you cannot see this particular place, come to your view. On your view, check your column quality. This will become active for you to see it. If you come to your view, check your column quality. If you see mine is already checked, okay, just check your column quality for you to be able to see this, for it to be active. Okay, now that we've done this, for us to remove these null values or null rows, please come to your come to your primary key here, your store ID. Come to it on the filter. On your filter button here, look at the null here, uncheck it. Now if you uncheck it, scroll down to see if you see any other error. I don't think there's any other error here apart from this, so I'll click OK. Now if you check, these errors, they've all corrected. All those errors we had, they've all corrected. Okay. Okay. So let's look at this. I'm going to make this text, the data type, I'm going to change it to text. I'm also going to change this person here, text. Okay. Now this store name, we do not need it. Remove. Store type, we do not need it as well. Remove. Store address, we do not need it as well. Remove. Okay. Store states, we do not need it to remove. Okay, I think this is also country. This store phone, we do not need it. Remove. Okay, let's remove from this total square feet. Hold your control, click on it, hold your control, click on grocery square feet, click on this. The rest of these columns here to the last. Let me select this again. Sorry. I think I mistakenly removed my hand. Okay, right click and remove columns. So we have 4 columns left in total. We have 4 columns left in total. Let me just trim these 2 columns I have here. Transform and trim. Okay, so we've taken care of this particular column. Okay, now the next thing we need to do now is to merge our work. This is the next thing we need to do. We now need to merge. So for us to merge, let me go back to my main table. Now for us to do this, Okay. Okay, so for us to merge, we'll simply come to our home ribbon. Now on the home ribbon here, you will see combine. Now some persons might see theirs as merge queries or append queries under here. But mine, you first of all see combine. Now when you open the drop down on the combine, you will see merge queries or append queries. Now we're trying to merge queries. So I'll click on the merge queries. Now when I click on the merge queries, now this is the table I on now, which is this person here, is showing here. Now under this place, if I click here, I'm going to see the other tables I have, which is these people down here, these four tables. I'm going to see them here. Now the first table I want to merge is my customer table. I'm going to merge my customer table. Now for us to merge, I need to use my customer ID and link it to my customer ID. Now this is where we need our data types to match. We need our data types to match. Okay, now I've linked my customer ID. I've made this merging using my customer ID and my customer ID here. Okay, now this is where we need these columns. They need to have a relationship, something in common, something that will link the two tables. Okay, now that we have this, it's going to show this way. Then I'll click OK. Now when this opens, I'm going to see it like this. It's going to appear like this table until I expand it. Now I'm going to come here and I'll click on these arrows here. Now I'm going to uncheck this customer ID because I already have it inside here now. There's no point bringing in the one that is coming with the customer table. So I'm going to uncheck that. I need this column, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. Now I'm going to uncheck this use original column name as prefix. Why? Because if I don't uncheck it, all these columns, instead of bearing customer ID, names, they're going to be bearing customer lookup if I don't uncheck this. So I need to uncheck this so that all of them will bear their original column names, because the original column name is all these people here. So if I leave this, they're going to bear this, which is not okay. So I've unchecked this and I'm going to click OK. Now it has added to this table. Now our table was how many before? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 5 columns. Now we have 11 columns down here. Look at these guys. We've added these columns. Now let's go ahead and add another one. On the combine again, I'm going to click on merge queries. Now my next table is going to be the product. So I'm going to click on the product ID. I'll do the same thing here, product ID to product ID. Okay, so it has created the relationship. And I'll click OK. Now when this happens, I'll come here and I'm going to uncheck this product ID. Now this is already unchecked. Now I need this product brand, the name, the unit price and the cost price. Then I'll click OK. So this has added to 1, 2, 3, 4 columns has added. Now I'm going to go ahead, still where I am, merge queries again. Now this time around, I'm going to merge my, let me merge my store. Let me merge my store. So I'm going to merge my store ID to store ID. Okay, it has created. I'm going to click OK. Now I'm going to expand. So I'm going to uncheck this store ID. I'm going to leave this region ID because I need this region ID for me to be able to merge my region ID table. So I'm going to click OK. Okay, it has added. Let me combine again. Merge queries. Now I'm going to merge my region now. Region table. So region ID, I'm going to look for it. Look at it here. There's a scrolling bar here which you can use to scroll to look for something. So I'm going to be merging with this. Okay, it has created and I'll click OK. Okay, let's expand. So I'm unchecking this region ID because we don't need it. So the only thing we're bringing in here is just sales region. Okay, so we brought in just one column from the region table. Okay, now we have this. We have 19 columns in total now. So we've been able to incorporate these four tables. We've been able to bring in everything inside here. Now we have one large table. Instead of them to be in separate places, we now have all of them combined together, making up one large data. Making up one large data. Instead of them to be separate, different tables, customer table, product table, and all of that, we just have one data. We just have one table. We just have one large table that we can use for our analysis. Okay, now let's finish our data cleaning. Now on our transaction date, we need to extract our um, month, name, year, and quarter. Okay, so for us to do this, I'll click on the transaction date. I'll go to add column. Now on the date here, I'm going to first of all, let me bring out the month name of month. Okay, it's going to add at the end. Now still on the transaction date, I'm going to also click on year. I'm bringing out year. Okay, it has added here. Look at the other one, that the month name that added. Let me go back to the transaction date again. I'm going to get my quarter of year. Okay, I think this is what I need. Okay, for this year, I'm just going to make it text. I'm going to change the data type to text. Now for the month name, I'm going to go to transform. I want to make it 3 characters. Okay, I'll click on extract, first character. I'll write 3 and click OK to change this. Okay. Now for this quarter, I would like it to have quarter 1. You know that we have, if I filter this, let me load more. We have 4 quarters, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I want this to have quarter 1. Instead of showing 1, 2, 3, 4, I want it to have like quarter 1, quarter 2, and quarter 3. Okay, so I'm going to click on this. I'll go to add column. Now from add column from example here, I'll click from selection. Now when this adds, I'll use my scrolling bar, shift this, so I can see what my quarter is starting with. Now I can see that my quarter here is starting with 1. So what I'm going to write here is QTR1, like a short form of writing quarter 1. After writing this, I'll click enter. Now it's going to autofill itself. Okay, when it autofills, I'll click OK. Okay, it's going to come out as merged. I can also change the merged name where I did the quarter, where I wrote this, or I can still come back here and change it to QTR. Okay, now um I can decide to remove this column. Okay, and just leave this. Okay, now that I have this, the next thing I'm going to work on, is the age. Let's work on the age, the birth date. Now, if you notice on this data, they didn't give us the age. What they simply gave us is the birth dates. That is what they simply gave on this data. Now we are to extract the what is it called again? The age from the birth date. Okay, so let's get to this. Now for us to extract this, simply highlight the birth date. Simply highlight the birth date. Now when you highlight the birth date, go to your add column. Now on your add column, on your date, you see age. Okay, now it's going to add here. The age is going to add here. Now when the age adds, click on it, go to your transform, on the duration, on your far right, you see duration here. Now click on total years. Okay, when this adds, now it's going to give you the age, the actual age of the individuals, but in decimal places. Now what you simply do is, after doing this, is change the data type here from decimal to whole number. Now look at this. We've gotten the age of these individuals. Let me filter this and see the age we have. And let me load more. Let's allow it to load. Okay, so we can see that we have the age from 16 years to 63 years. This is what we have. We have from 16 years to 63 years. So we're going to go ahead and do a conditional column for this. So for us to do this, a conditional column, let's group this age into different age groups. Okay, so let's do this. So for us to do this, highlight the column, go to add column, conditional column, add column, conditional column. Now when we are here, the first thing we are going to see here is the new column name we are trying to create. Now I'll remove what is written here and write age group or age bracket, age range, whatever you want to name yours. Okay, when we have this, the next thing we are going to do now is to start bringing out add our age. Now the next thing here is the column name or the column in question that we are trying to work with, which is age. Let me look for it. Where are you? Age. Okay, I think it's down. Sorry, let me pick it again. Okay, so that is age. Okay, now that we've picked this, now I'm going to pick my operator here, less than or equal to. Okay, the next thing we're going to write here is the region. Now I'm going to put 24 here. Now I'll write 16, or I can say, let me just round it. Let me say 18 Since what we have there is 16, let me just make it 18, or we can still use 16. It doesn't matter. Let me just say 18 to, they're still within the same range, to 24 years. Okay. Now I'm going to add clause. Then pick my, let me shift this up. Okay. Age. If it is less than or equal to 44, give us sorry, 20, that's 35. Okay. That's 25 to 34 years. Add clause. Pick the age. So this is going to be 35 to 44 years. Add clause. Pick the age. At 5 to 44. Okay, then 54, 45 to 54 years, and on the else, I will now do 55 to 63 years. Okay, so what we have here is this: if age is less than or equal to 24 years, give us 18 to 24. Else, if age is less than or equal to 34 years, give us 25 to 34 years. If age is less than or equal to 44 years, give us 35 to 44 years. If age is less than or equal to, let me change this, to 54 years, give us 45 to 54 years. Else, give us 55 to 63 years. So I'm going to click OK after writing this. Now it's going to add here. I'm simply going to change my data type to text because it's a text column. Okay, I'll simply change my data type to text because it's a text column. Okay. Okay, so we've been able to do all of this. We've been able to do this, clean this data, and do a lot of things on it. Okay, so the next thing we need to do now is to load this data back to Power BI to start our analysis. Okay, now when we get to Power BI, I'm going to show us how to create a calculated column using DAX measures or DAX calculations. I'm going to show us how to create calculated columns. Now, calculated columns are different from measures. Yes, they all use DAX calculation, but they are all different. Okay. Now I'm going to show us how to create the calculated columns when we get to Power BI. I'll also show us how to create the measures when we also get to Power BI. Now this is what we have, our final cleaning. Now we have 24 columns in total. Okay, so let's now load to Power BI to see what we have. So I'm going to go to my home. I'll go to home and click on close and apply. Okay, our work has loaded. Now it's going to appear by the side. Okay, our data has loaded here. So for our next class, I'm going to show us how to create a calculated column. I'm going to be showing us how to create a calculated column. Okay, now this is how the table looks like in Power BI. So I'm going to do that for us. And then I'm going to also show us other things. So I'm going to be seeing us on our next class when we finish up this data. Okay.